Hey, what's up YouTube? This is We All Juggle Knives with the Camillus Trekus multi-tool. Now I'm probably not going to post this on a Monday because I have even more multi-tools for Monday. But it is kind of a multi-tool. It's got a wood saw and it's got two blades. All right, that's the main blade. It's Aus 8. Now all those implements are 4.6 inches in length. It has a button lock that you have to depress to deploy and to fold in the three implements. Right, it's also got a Filet blade. Right, now I did the old paper test with the main blade. It's quite sharp. I was impressed with the sharpness of this thing. Now coming up, the saw in use. So what we're going to do is saw two parallel grooves into this piece of wood. We are then going to connect those grooves to form a large notch. Now if you look at the one end of that piece of wood, I've already made a notch with it when I was testing this earlier, but we're going to make another one. Right now, the total time to cut those two grooves you see there was about 2.5 minutes. I didn't want to bore you with 2.5 straight minutes of sawing, but that's how fast it was. And obviously a larger saw with a better grip would go faster. But this did pretty good at making grooves for a fairly small, compact saw. All right, now here we are connecting the two grooves. And now in real life, I would probably use a fixed blade, but since I'm reviewing this, I'm using the main blade on this Trekus. And you see the idea here. I sped up this footage slightly just because the video can only be so long. But this is a very sharp knife, and it did really well at processing, just biting into the wood. Now these implements have a coating on it. I think it's like a titanium nitride coating. Now the regular price on this is around $35. I got it at a Christmas sale for even less, but $35 is a reasonable price because this is basically similar to some of the Swiss Army knives, the larger ones that are based around a saw and blade tool set. So it's kind of like an XXL Swiss Army knife. It's not as pretty as a Swiss knife, but it does get the job done. And there is the finished product, the epic notch in the piece of wood. And, I was surprised at how well that blade did. I mean, I don't usually think of like an Aus 8 folder as like, something to push cut into wood. So there is the whole purpose of the notch. You see you can fit other pieces of wood into the notch, and notches like that are kind of like one of the major bases of starting to build like anything, like a shelter or a trap or something like that. Now this is just a review of the tool. It's not meant to be like a survival course or anything, but I'm just saying making notches is a handy skill to have for whatever you want to call it, camping, bushcraft, or survival. Now, as far as the Filet blade, it is both thinner and even sharper than the main blade. Now, around where I live, we don't have any good places to fish at this time of year, so I don't have a fish, but what I'm going to do is just show you how sharp this is, and I'll let you judge for yourself what you think it could do to a fish. Right here is the paper test. This thing is very sharp. And it's so thin, I mean, it'll go right through. And I have a little fun demo coming. Behold. Yeah, dude, you can't do that with a dull blade. Many have tried. I want you to look at the bottoms of these bottles. Look at the bottoms. They don't move. I mean, they don't move. Like, yeah, you cannot do that with a dull blade. This thing, not only could it cut through the soft flesh of a fish, this thing could chop off someone's fingers like they were freaking French fries. Yeah, you could fillet a fish, you could fillet a bad guy. It just came sharp as all hell. Now, this does come with some other things that are really janky, like that mini compass. You know, in my experience, those things never work right. Luckily, you can take it off, and I would recommend that to make the handle more comfortable. That other thing is a flashlight, and, you know, the batteries are so small, they're always going to be dead. So, you know, I didn't get it for the little compass and the flashlight. It also has this fire starter with a whistle, like, in the handle. But because it's like stuck in there, you can't really put a lanyard on it, and it's small, so it's like hard to get a good grip. You can generate some sparks if you strike the ricasso of the saw on it, but really it's just not that good of a fire starter. I guess it's supposed to be a backup to a backup. Whatever, you know, those janky features, that's not why I got this. I got this for the two blades in the wood saw. And as I said, I got this on sale for $20, so I definitely feel like I got my money's worth. And as for like the little compass and things, I'm just going to remove those. I'm not going to use those parts of it. And I think this would still be worth it even if they removed all those. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like those parts of the tool. But at the same time, this is more than worth it just for the two blades and the saw. So I'm not going to beat them up over those little doodads that they added. So final thoughts on this Trekus multi-tool. I like it for the price I got it, you know, $20. Both blades were extremely sharp, which surprised me. The saw works well for its length. You know, there's bigger saws that could do more, obviously. So yeah, I like it for the price I got it. I will include a link. There are two models of the Trekus. This is the older model. I'll include links to both models. I like this one better because the new model actually doesn't have the fillet blade. But it has a reamer and some other things, so I'll include links to both. You know, I think that one is like less expensive too. But as of now, they still have a few of these on Amazon. Hopefully by the time I post this, they'll still have them. So yeah, the three main tools on this were pretty good. I found that the slight recurve on the main blade was useful in some types of cutting. I did find that the kind of blocky handle was less comfortable than just a regular, you know, fixed blade like a Mora. But of course, you could see that coming. I mean, they have to make the tools be able to fold into it, so of course it's not going to be as comfortable as a small fixed blade. I knew that going in. It's an adequate trade-off for, you know, having three different useful tools. So I do think this is worth the $35, and if you can get it on sale like I did, hey, even better. Hope you enjoyed seeing this multi-tool. This has been We All Juggle Knives.